What is up, guys? James Carter TV, continuing my 2016 NFL Draft Recap series that I'm doing for each and every team in the NFL following the 2016 NFL Draft. And today we are talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, up until this point, I have been pretty generous with my grades. I've been liking a lot of the teams that I've been doing thus far. The Titans I've liked the least thus far. But man, you guys are about to get something here. Because Dallas Cowboy fans, they're going to stumble along this video probably over the next 3 months. And they're going to hate what I have to say. But man, I really do not like the Dallas Cowboys draft. And I'm not sure if it's the worst in the NFL. We'll find out as we progress and I continue to do each and every team. And I sit down and I look at each and every team. But man, I do not like the Dallas Cowboys draft. I'm going to give you plenty of reasons. We're going to go pick by pick. I'll give you my grades for each and every pick. I'll give you my rationale. But just know going in, no, I am not biased. Apparently, people believe I am biased. They don't know who I am. They think I'm automatically biased. Let me tell you right now, I am a Tennessee Titans fan. I have no affiliation with the Dallas Cowboys whatsoever. We've never faced in the Super Bowl. We only play once every 4 years. You guys won the last one, and we won the one before that. I have no affiliation with the Dallas Cowboys whatsoever. So with that said, let's get into why I don't like your draft. And let's start with the first pick. Ezekiel Elliott, running back out of Ohio State. Now, if you watch my channel, you know I'm not a big Ezekiel Elliott fan. I think he's fine. I think he's a guy that has nice pass blocking ability, has pretty good speed, pretty good receiving ability, pretty good this, pretty good that, but he's not elite at any certain category. He's comparable to a Lamar Miller in the NFL in terms of production where, yeah, you can get 1,000-yard, 1,200-yard season out of Lamar Miller, but Lamar Miller is never going to be Jamal Charles. He's never going to be Marshawn Lynch. He's never going to be Adrian Peterson. He's never going to be Le'Veon Bell. And like those guys, like Lamar Miller, I should say, Ezekiel Elliott does not possess any elite traits as a running back. He is not going to be an elite running back at the NFL level. He's going to be a nice running back. He's probably going to get 1,200 yards behind this Cowboys offensive line just because they're so good. And I also do not like how people are operating under the assumption that the Dallas Cowboys need a running back. Where did this come from? Because this is a football team that actually finished ninth in the NFL in rushing yards last year. This is a 4-12 football team that finished ninth in rushing yards. Now, why is this? Because our offensive line is really, really, really good. And if you're able to finish that high when you are trailing in games and you can still run the football, why the hell do you need a running back? Your running back that you had last year by the name of Darren McFadden, whom I don't love, had 1,000 yards. Why do the Cowboys need a running back again? Their running game looks pretty good to me. I mean, the only thing that was missing from your team last year was Tony Romo. Dez Bryant wasn't really that good, and he was injured as well. And really, that's the big thing. And you missed DeMarco Murray as well a little bit. But you still finished ninth in rushing yards. Without a mobile quarterback, all of those rushing yards came from your running game, from your running backs. So the fact that there's an assumption out there that the Cowboys need a running game, a running back, DeMarco Murray, whenever he left, their running game disappeared. Yeah, they went from 3rd to 9th. But it's still pretty good. Do they need to take Ezekiel Elliott with the 4th pick, indicating that this guy's an elite running back? Because if you're taking 4th in any draft ever, that is an indication that you are elite, that you better come into the NFL, unless if you're a quarterback. You can get away with being an okay quarterback taking this high. But you better come in and you better be elite. You better be a top 5 running back. And I think Ezekiel Elliott will be fine. I think he'll have 1,200 yards. I think he'll have 1,000 yards. Darren McFadden had 1,000 yards. Alfred Morris would have had 1,200 yards. He's had 1,600 yards before. I don't think the Cowboys have gained anything with this pick, except for the fact that you Cowboy fans will like Ezekiel Elliott more than you liked Darren McFadden just because he's a rookie. I think that's the only difference we're going to see here. The running game will be the same. It's a C- for me because I'm not a big Ezekiel Elliott fan. When you hear guys talking about you don't take running backs round one, I actually disagree. But when it's a running back like this that doesn't possess any elite traits, elite speed, elite power, elite receiving ability, elite vision. No, he's good vision, good speed. Okay, second rounder. That's what I think. But they took him, I think it's a C-. We move on to the second round. Jaylon Smith out of Notre Dame. I like this pick more, but there is a huge concern, the injury concern, the nerve issues in this guy. He's not playing this year, and we're operating under the assumption that he's going to come back and he's going to be the same player he was. He's going to be great and blah, 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 and that might very well be the case. But this is a Cowboys team that doesn't have much time. Tony Romo has 3 years left. Tops, probably. You have to compete for a Super Bowl right now. And taking a kid that is going to come in, that is going to redshirt the 2016 season, and also a linebacker, which you, in a 4-3 weak side linebacker here, he's not a middle linebacker. A guy that is going to come in next year, probably replace Anthony Hitchens, or maybe even Sean Lee if he's done at that point. What did the Cowboys really gain here? They didn't gain much. They didn't gain anything for 2016. I damn know that. It's a B- for me. Although I really do like the healthy Jaylon Smith. If he comes back, if he's healthy, he'll be great. But you're going to miss this year. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss it, especially when you have needs at corner, when you have needs on your defensive line. Oh my God, your defensive line. But luckily, you wake up and you address that. Because in the third round, you wake up, you take defensive tackle Maliek Collins out of Nebraska. My favorite pick, actually my second favorite pick from the Cowboys draft. This is a guy that needs to be more consistent. He wasn't very consistent at Nebraska. He had some round one talent there in spurts. Didn't really show it enough, consistently enough to be a first round talent. But you get him in the third round. I thought it was good value here. There are still some, like 1 or 2 defensive tackles that I like better than Maliek Collins at this point. But it's still a good pick. You needed to address your defensive line. You do it here. You get an A- from me. Next, we move on to Charles Tapper, the 4th round pick out of Oklahoma, defensive end. Similar story to Maliek Collins, a guy that needs to learn how to be more consistent. Now, Charles Tapper was never in the conversation to be a first-round pick, but again, this is a guy that needs to be more consistent, needs to stop showing flashes and actually be a consistent pass rusher. Considering the fact that Cowboys have absolutely nothing squadouche in their pass rush for the first 8 games until Randy Gregory comes back and he gets suspended yet again. So with this in mind, the Cowboys need a pass rusher. I'm not sure Charles Tapper will be able to do that from the get-go. He still needs to be taught some technique. He just loves to bull rush. That's all I see. I don't see any nice spin moves. He needs to get some more weapons in his repertoire, in his pass rush repertoire, in order to beat these offensive tackles instead of just the bull rush that he loves to do so much. I give it a B+. Next, we move on to my favorite pick. My favorite pick in this Dallas Cowboys draft, and that is Dak Prescott, Mississippi State, in the 4th round as well. I give it an absolute A. This is a guy that can be a consistent and good backup quarterback for you until Tony Romo is out of the door, and assuming you can develop him correctly, can be a starting quarterback for you. I had a 3rd round grade on him. You get him at the end of the 4th round. You didn't reach and take a Connor Cook or a Christian Hackerberg, to which I say good. You get a really good quarterback here in the 4th round. I give it an A. Next, we move on to Anthony Brown out of Purdue. I really don't like this player at all. He's really aggressive. He's really dumb. He sacrifices a lot of touchdowns because of his dumb aggressiveness, poor instincts, had way too many penalties at Purdue. So you're talking about a guy with bad technique, a guy that's undisciplined at the position, a guy that's not very good because he allowed too many touchdowns. So penalties, touchdown given. He sounds like Morris Claiborne already. I hate the pick, honestly. I really don't think Anthony Brown is ever going to do anything for you guys. You get a C- for that. Next, we have Kavon Frazier out of Central Michigan. like this pick better. Strong safety, a guy that loves defending the run, laying the boom down on running backs. Now, kind of like Anthony Brown has poor instincts, and you see it more with Kavon Frazier because he's a strong safety. So whenever he bites and he misses, boy, does it have an effect. And it had an effect many times for Central Michigan as he would whiff on potential tacklers or potential tackles on running backs. He would be over aggressive, consistently misplay action plays, needs to learn how to look at the game, see some of these things before they come. Just pick up his awareness, game awareness, really that'll come with experience too, and coaching. So I still like this pick. I like the potential because he is a really good athlete. Ran over under a 4.4 at his pro day, apparently, although I'm not sure he's that fast, but I'll believe that report fine. I give it a B+. Next, we move on to running back Darius Jackson. Now, you just heard me talk about how I disagreed with the Cowboys taking a running back because I was under the belief that their running game was already fine. So you already know how I feel about this pick. As yet again, the Cowboys take a running back to fix a running game that does not need to be fixed. Now, lucky for you, it doesn't really matter. This is the 6th round. You're just taking guys. The pick doesn't make sense. Now, there's a guy that's 6 foot, 204 pounds or something like that, or 224 pounds or something like that. Has nice size, nice agility, and Darius Jackson out of Eastern Michigan, but man, he's not going to make the roster because you're talking about Ezekiel Elliott, Alfred Morris, Lance Dunbar, Darren McFadden, and now this guy, he's not going to make the roster. I don't know why you would even waste a draft pick on a man that's not going to make the roster. It gets a D+ for me because literally he will not make the roster. And then finally, we have tight end Rico Gathers out of Baylor. Again, this is the 6th round, so I understand taking risks here. This is a guy that hasn't played football since middle school. And he hasn't played a lick of in-game football except for in his backyard since middle school. Went to the pro day, had okay numbers, had about a 4.75 40. He wasn't that great at Baylor. There have been projects like Jimmy Graham, though, that, basketball players, they learn how to play football, they learn how to do something, and they end up being a really good project. But I don't think we're looking at a really good athlete here. I mean, I think he's just fine. If you're telling me LeBron James is coming to the NFL, I might take him with a 2nd-round pick, maybe something like that. But Rico Gathers, who really wasn't a great basketball player, isn't a great tight end athlete on his own, hasn't caught a ball in game since middle school. I really don't love this pick, but since it's the 6th round, and there is a really good chance he can actually make the roster as opposed to Darius Jackson, you get a C from me. Now, I've concocted a grading system in which I accumulate all these grades on a weighted scale so that the earlier rounds, the picks in those grades weigh more heavily than the 6th round, 5th round, 7th round, all of that. So the earlier rounds carry more weight. Like the 1st round carries 16 points, 2nd round 10 points, whatever. I've concocted this method. I put all these grades in. It came out. You get a 2.52 GPA out of 4, translates to a C+. Now, there are some things in this draft that'll be fine. I think Ezekiel Elliott will be a fine player. I'm not saying he's going to be a bust. I'm saying you took with the 4th overall pick a player that will not be a top 5 running back 5 years from now, when you could have taken Jaylon Ramsey, who will be a Hall of Famer 25 years from now.